Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel. Ladies and gentlemen, on my channel, I'm always telling you guys live an active lifestyle. Make smart nutritional choices. Move more and sit less, ladies and gentlemen. I fight against that laziness, man. It's not about perfection, but about consistency, right? It's not about what you look like in the mirror. It's about how you feel, ladies and gentlemen. And in this video, we're going to talk about more of these fake alphas, man. These fake, quote unquote, alpha males. These guys that come out here on YouTube, come out here on social media, and have to tell you how alpha they are, even though they're fake as hell. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, there is no quote unquote alpha male that's going to keep talking about how alpha he is. No one has to say these things. And once again, what is an alpha male? We talked about this. It's lost its meaning. It doesn't mean what it used to mean. Back in the day, you wanted to be a quote-unquote macho man. No, I want to be a macho man. You wanted to be a tough guy. You wanted to show toughness. You wanted to have grit. That's what a man, or people thought a man should have, right? A certain level of toughness to you, some manliness. Now all we hear is about alphas. Oh, I'm an alpha male, alpha male, alpha male. But there is no real man, no real alpha that's going to keep telling you this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it means to be alpha? A real man is alpha. If you're a true, real grown man that stands on values, stands on principles, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. You're an alpha. You are. And you don't have to say it. You don't have to talk about it. You never even have to repeat that word again. And you will be that. People will view you as that because the way you carry yourself, you're holding yourself to those standards, to those principles. So if you're a real, true grown man, and remember, there's nothing wrong with being a real grown man, ladies and gentlemen, having manliness. You know what I'm saying? Being a man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. In society now, all of a sudden, it's a problem to say that you're a man or to be a man or to have some manly energy. To have that. There ain't nothing wrong with that, ladies and gentlemen. But remember, to really be a man means to stand on values, principles, and hold yourself to a standard, right? It means to inspire the people around you, to be an active member, to contribute to society, to your community. That's what a real man does. That's alpha, ladies and gentlemen. You know what's alpha, ladies and gentlemen? You know what's alpha for a man? When a man gets up and lets an elderly woman sit down. You know, or if a man gets up and allows a pregnant woman to sit down, or a small child to sit down in their seat on maybe a crowded train or a crowded bus or some place like that, right? You stand so they can sit down. That's manly, ladies and gentlemen. All right? These are the kinds of things I'm talking about. Carrying yourself with honor, being honorable. That's alpha, ladies and gentlemen. That's manly. Having integrity. That's manly. That's alpha, ladies and gentlemen. And all of these qualities, if you carry yourself with these things, right? The honor, the class, to be classy, right? Knowing how to speak, when to speak, how to say things, when not to say things, right? Knowing, like I said, how to speak. That's classy. You know, if you think about, some people, you think about someone like Barry Sanders, right? For example, and I'll bring a football player into this analogy. Barry Sanders may not have came across to you as a loudmouth, brash, aggressive, alpha male. But what made Barry Sanders alpha was his stoicism, right? Was his humility. That's what made him alpha. When you saw Barry Sanders break free on an 80-yard run and then hand the football to the referee like it was no big deal, like he had been there before, like a true professional, that's classy. That's honorable. He earned the respect. That's alpha right there. I used to look at Barry Sanders, man, sometimes I'm like, damn, this dude is just so cool because nothing seemed to faze him. He was just so chill, so humble. I remember Barry Sanders talking about his father, always telling him that he would never be greater than Jim Brown. He'd never be the greatest running back. No matter what he did, he would never be greater than Jim Brown. That's real right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is real. All right? That's your father holding you to a standard and letting you know the standard's way up here, man. All right? And you're not good enough to get there. All right? Think about what that does for someone like Barry Sanders. The inspiration, the motivation that does, right? To push, to get to that standard, to reach that bar. So like we said, guys, being alpha is not being loud. It's not about being loud, about being aggressive, about telling people how alpha you are. These guys are frauds. They're fakes. They're phonies. You've seen these guys on here. These fake alpha males that don't know a damn thing. You got this guy, King Azule. Like, this guy named himself King and starts talking all these weird stories. Oh, I beat up 30 guys at one time. 30 guys at one time. So now this guy is Bruce Lee in the movie Chinese Connection. He's beating up everybody at the same time because he's that tough. He starts talking about all these stories. Oh, he's on an anti-terrorism unit, and this guy's a professional this, and he's a professional that. I quit school and did this, and I'm a millionaire by this age. These guys have all these crazy stories, guys, that don't add up. They contradict themselves, right? They're hypocrites. Like I said, they just don't make any sense. They're fraudulent, man. They're never going to give you them. They're not going to be their real true self because their real true self is not as interesting as they trying to make themselves out to be. This King of Zulu, the guy names himself king. What kind of clown does this? Once again, these guys are not real, man. Anyone that has to call themselves a king or proclaim themselves a king is not really a king, ladies and gentlemen. If you have to proclaim yourself an alpha, you're not really an alpha. These guys don't know what it means to be alpha. Being a real, true, grown man that stands on the values and the principles, that earns the respect of the people around him, that's alpha, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Taking care of your family, that's alpha, ladies and gentlemen. Right? Being honorable, right? Like I said, being a good employee, going to work, doing your job at a high level. That's alpha to me, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what you do. Like I said, I don't care what I'm doing. I told you I worked at UPS, guys, throwing boxes in a truck, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was doing. And I was doing this part-time for some extra money on the side. And I was in there busting my butt, doing what I had to do, man, doing it to the best of my abilities. And I told you that young kid came up to me and he was like, yo, man, because I was the older guy there. And he was like, yo, man, you making us look bad. And I started laughing. I said, what are you talking about? He's like, man, you come here and you just go crazy. You just get in the truck and you just start doing them boxes, man. He's like, man, I don't understand how you can do this. He said, why are you trying so hard, doing it like this? And I told him, I was like, I'm not trying hard. I don't think of it as I'm trying hard. All I do is the best job that I can do. Whatever I'm doing, I'm going to take pride in that job. I told you, even if I'm scraping toilet bowls, it doesn't matter. I'm going to take pride in that job and I'm going to do it to the highest level possible. That's alpha, ladies and gentlemen. That's being a grown man. That's standing on stuff, man. Remember, a grown man stands for something, right? He stands up for things, stands for things. These fake alphas, they don't stand for nothing but themselves, ladies and gentlemen. They're only there for the money. That's all it is for these guys. They want you to buy a product for them. This King of Zule or whatever this dude's name is, clown is, it's not a fake. He's not a real alpha. He's fake. These guys are fake. They're not real, ladies and gentlemen. And listen to their stories. You can tell. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys out there.